Our neighbors, who live in the same house, have a 3-year-old son, and we have 3 indoor cats. One day the father knocked on the door, telling us his son lately grew fond of cats and if it was possible that his son can see our cats. We let them in, but it turned out the boy still has 2 left hands when it comes to animals, and his father doesn't interfere when the kid chases them, screeches at them like a siren, pulls them on their tails, and throws hard toys at them. As you can guess, we weren't too pleased. The next day, same time in the evening, the father and kid knock on our door, the father demanding that his son can meet the meow meows again. This time my husband opened the door and was somewhat surprised by them requesting a visit again, blindsided let them in again. Same procedure as the day before, a solid half hour of screeching and chasing the scared and startled cats. On day 3, we just sat down for dinner, the father knocks on our door, letting us know that it's his son's bedtime and that he's ready to play with his meow meows. I kindly but clearly explained that we're just about to have dinner and that we cannot make this a daily play date cause our cats are not happy about this as they are not used to children and one of them blind. I told him it's too much for the animals, my husband and I are both working full-time and our evenings, having dinner together, is our relaxed time we would like to spend alone. The following 2 hours we heard the kid screaming his head off, demanding to meet his meow meows, followed by furious knocking on our door, which we opened to our very angered neighbor pointing at his son's blue from crying face, yelling at us that this sad face should make us think about the consequences of decisions we make for other people. His son won't sleep anymore without seeing his beloved meow meows. Yes, he seriously kept using this term and also the possessive adjective. I tried to solve this in a civilized manner by keeping calm, but pointing out that it wasn't our idea to make seeing our cats his son's getting ready to sleep ritual and that he cannot expect from us to make this a daily schedule, but we were marked as general child haters already. 2 days later our landlord called us to remind us to please not let our cats out in the hallway cause the neighbor's child is allergic to cats. Make sure you let your landlord know that no, the child is in fact not allergic and that their calling him was direct retaliation for you not letting them into your home anytime they want because they trained their kid to expect access to cats that he treated absolutely deplorably. OP. Thankfully not even needed. We're pretty good with our landlord, we're living here for 22 years. No. You don't get it. Do it anyway. Start noting this dumb harassment before they take it further. OP. We did talk to our landlord. He's been here for dinner and knows the full story. These folks got a very clear response from him. They know it was their first and the last time trying to pull off something like this in his house. I get so incredibly angry when people do not watch their children around animals. An animal is an innocent creature and does not understand why a child is abusing it. I have seen children chase and hurt animals and the parents just stand there. But when the animal is hurt or finally is scared enough to bite, suddenly they have an issue with it. I have a family member whose son is 3 and constantly chases my mother's tiny dog. The kid won't stop screaming at the dog and hunting her down. I have to keep them apart every time because the dad is a lazy parent and doesn't care. If you allow a child to hurt an animal, you are a horrible person and parent. A child that takes joy in harassing and harming animals is a damaged child that needs correction and help. When the supposed father, ballless idiot that he is, came to pound on your door trying to shame you into allowing his husband to chase your poor cats with the spineless excuse of he must see them sleep, I would have told him that is a you problem, not a me problem. OP. That's what we did. I told him it wasn't us making decisions that affected him or his child, but in making decisions that took effect on us. So my brother was in an accident a few weeks back. Cleaning the gutters when he fell off the ladder and hit his head on the concrete walkway in front of his house. Bad brain bleed and it was not looking good for his chances. However, as time progressed, he was getting better and recovering a lot more than we thought he would. Toward the end of his stay, the hospital was going to release him to a local neurological rehabilitation facility by the name of Clover, name changed and all that. I've heard horror stories of the place, and I've been to that facility many times as an EMT on various calls, and while I've never seen signs of the horrors, I never felt particularly comfortable there. I expressed my concerns to my parents about the place. Even saying that I wouldn't let my nana go there even though we've never gotten along. She hates me and the feeling is mutual. Even with that, I'd not stick her there. My concerns were blown off. So I talked to the nurses there that were taking care of my brother and they put my mind to ease. Clover Nursing Home is a hot mess, and I had the right to be worried. Clover Rehab, on the other hand, has a solid reputation as being a good rehabilitation facility and is not affiliated with the nursing home at all. Never having run any calls out there, I had no idea other than they existed. I relaxed, and that was that, or so I thought. Day of my brother's discharge, and they're no longer sending him to Clover. His insurance rejected that and instead opted for in-home rehab. My parents are convinced that I called up the insurance company and demanded that they not send him there. As if HIPAA laws would allow them to even talk to me without medical power of attorney. I tried to explain that, and that the decision was more likely due to the fact that his recovery has progressed to the point where the insurance company didn't think it was worth it to spend the money on a bed when in-home is cheaper, and his recovery has progressed so well. But now my mom and dad aren't speaking to me apart from one hate-filled rant about how I'm a horrible daughter and a disgrace for ruining my brother's chances for a full recovery. I recommend staying low contact with your parents. Their behavior toward you is sick and twisted. Don't reject them, but refuse to discuss the matter further. I wish you well as you live with the truths your parents showed you. OP. I was thinking that myself. Hubs made a suggestion that I liked. If they rant on my social media or send me texts and emails, he suggested that I keep the links to the HIPAA laws translated into English for people who don't speak lawyer and just respond by sending them the link. Nothing more, nothing less. No comments, no excuses, just silence and the strongly implied suggestion that they read the laws that would not allow me to do what they think I did for themselves. This is a huge steaming pile of ignorance and arrogance on the part of your parents. They are a lost cause. Protect yourself and your family from their toxic behavior. Tell us your sibling is the golden child without saying your parents have a favorite. Yeesh. OP, if you don't live with them, stop contacting them. If you do live with them, plan to move out ASAP. OP. I'm 49, a mother of 3 of my own, all grown and out of the nest. I've long since moved out of there. They're going into communications timeout for a little while. Obligatory. This happened about 2 years ago. I teach philosophy and epistemology to high schoolers. I'm also fairly young for a high school teacher. I introduce myself as Faye, my given first name, which has been my given name since birth, to my students. Well, I got an email from a parent reading Lee Betancourt, "This is Karen and I'm Kevin's mother. I'm deeply disturbed that you allow students to call you by your first name and believe this is unprofessional and confuses children. My child's test scores clearly reflect this, as your class is the only one he is struggling in, and, as he has maintained an outstanding academic performance, it is clear that you are the problem. I highly suggest that, in order to better teach my child, you reflect on this and begin to use your professional name." So I responded, "Karen, thank you for reaching out to me. I'm awfully glad you are so concerned with your child's performance in my class. As you might not be aware, I do not grade homework or tests as official standing, and they go only to show an empiricist view of one's performance. Don't worry, this means the grade you see in the system will be different from the final grade, as your child will have a 100% in my class. This was made clear in my syllabus. You should also note that I attach my comments for every assignment and include an annotated copy of your child's exams and essays so that they may see where they need to improve. If you have specifics about concepts your child is struggling with and ways that might better help him learn these concepts, I'd be more than happy to meet with you over coffee or tea to discuss with you." So she responds, "The annotations are incredibly vague and abstract and offer little insight into how my child, who is brilliant, may improve. However, I see you mark him wrong every time he refers to you as Lee Betancourt and replace it with Faye. It is illogical to ask a child to indulge in using such a silly name. I highly advise you to quit marking my child wrong for using your professional name in his essays. Likewise, I believe that as you are his teacher, you should use your professional name." So I decide to be petty and respond, "Thank you for your response. I appreciate how illogical and unsound your argumentation is, as this is a perfect example of Hume's law. I shall be using this to model in-class examples of bad argumentation from now on. Thank you for the free class materials." I got a response back from her but didn't respond. Edit. To the one person who tried to argue I should use my surname. You get an A for effort, but a D for execution for falling victim to the same logical trap as the mother. Eily though, keep flexing your muscles, you'll get there eventually. There does exist a sound argument. Lol, the classical my child is brilliant, therefore, you are the problem because I cannot accept that my child is not that brilliant. So, make Kevin call you Mlee Betancourt, but let all the other pupils continue to use your first name. Oh, and obviously don't change Kevin's grades. Then see what his mother has to say. I like how you basically made fun of her by setting her as a bad example for the kids you teach.